All right.
Wow.
Hello, y'all. How are y'all today? And we are back for the latest Breath of Fresh Air webcast. So I'm Charles, got Patrick with me, and we got a few topics to dive into right now. So, Patrick, let's start with this Michael Jordan versus LeBron James debate. What you shaking your head for?
Go ahead and say it. Dude, we don't get into this much. We normally don't play the debate game that ESPN and everybody else throws out there, but let's play. We'll play.
No, you are right. We normally do not get into that whole debate game, but if we're gonna dive into it, let's go ahead and dive into it, man. So, of course, talking about Michael Jordan and LeBron James, ESPN has the documentary going on called The Last Dance that is chronicling the Chicago Bulls and their journey in the 90s where they won 6 championships. I think for a lot of people, this is kind of eye opening, just simply because, especially for the people who did not see Michael Jordan play and those Bulls teams play, it's starting to open up a few eyes. But of course, you still have your faithful LeBron people who are going to say LeBron James is the best player. So, Patrick, look, I'm not going to say too much more. I'm just going to say go to you because
Well,
you
first of all, let the numbers speak for themselves. Give those statistics that we all know you know so well.
I was going to give those statistics after your viewpoint.
Oh, after my viewpoint,
Yes.
point blank and simple. Everybody knows I cannot stand LeBron James, and I'm going to give you a taste of something that me and Charles is going to come out with. Jabron Lames. And I'm going to leave it just at that, and you'll know what I'm talking about in a couple of months one day when we write a movie about this piece of crap. But I am not a huge fan of LeBron James, never have been. Everybody calls him King James, name self-proclaimed, just so you know. I don't know if many people know that, but it is self-proclaimed because he is no king to me, and I don't know why anybody else would even say that. Anyway, Charles is going to go over the statistics, and I'm going to let the numbers speak for themselves, but I can tell you right now, LeBron James, we've said it many times, many times, he is a once-in-a-generation player. Will not take the man, I will not take what the man has done in the NBA and say, whatever. No, he has done great things. He is a very, very good player. Very good teammate. Not as much, but very good player. And, you know, if Mario Chalmers is watching this, you know what I'm talking about. And all. But it's like this. To me, from the things that I have seen both of these players play, Michael Jordan and LeBron James, Michael Jordan is hands down a better player all around. Michael Jordan played in an era where fouls were they happened all the time. I mean, look, I'll pull out a team right off the. How about the Utah Jazz? Karl Malone. That dude was ruthless down underneath the basket. Bro, he was ruthless. Jeff Hornacek. Come on. I ain't never seen somebody scratch people in the face so many times in my life. Ever. So when we talk about Michael Jordan and what he achieved it at much higher levels. He had to fight for what he's got. LeBron James is handed to him on a silver platter because nowadays the NBA doesn't want their star players to get hurt. So it's been given to LeBron. Plus, we all know he probably has a contract with ESPN and he's getting shoved down everybody's throat because of his contract says that they have to. Anyway, Michael Jordan is a better player. I could rant about this for the next 30 hours if you want me to, but we ain't got that much time. But Michael Jordan, he's a much better player. We all know he's an ass, but at least we knew what we were getting out of Michael Jordan. LeBron, he had to be carted off of the court because he hurt his pinky finger. They carted him off because he hurt his pinky finger. I'm just letting you know. He's a punk. I don't like him. Michael Jordan, best player.
So
between those two.
So look, I mean, you look at, a lot of people want to look at numbers and compare all these stats. I'll just say a couple of things here. Number one, LeBron James came straight out of high school. Michael Jordan played 3 years of college. So he played 3 years of college. It's basically a 3-year head start for LeBron James. Again, great career, but
3-year head start.
Yeah, a lot more time.
It took him 13 years to achieve what Michael Jordan did in 9.
And Michael Jordan retired those 2 years too, in the middle of the three-peats. So
he play the best sport in the world. Why would you not?
So that's one thing. Number two, a lot of people will look at Michael Jordan's career and they talk about how great of a scorer he is. And he was a great, great scorer. We know this about him. But a lot of people don't talk about the defense he had. He was a 9-time All-NBA defensive first team player. 9 times. That is tied for the most in history. For those who didn't know that, because we know how it is today. Everybody wants to focus on the offense. Everybody wants to focus on the glamour stat of scoring. But this dude was a 9-time defender. I think he was tied, or he's tied in history with Gary Payton, Kevin Garnett, and Kobe Bryant is the other one. Mm-hmm. So obviously, he was a complete player. Yes, the scoring got a lot of the pub, but the man he could pass well when he wanted to. I think after the years developed or the years went on, he depended more on his teammates. He was able to develop that part of his game more to continue winning. And also, with that defensive stat, I mean, I think LeBron has been on the All-NBA defensive team 5 times, but we know sometimes there's times where LeBron's defense has been left to desire. He does. He plays some old-way defense at times, and I feel like those numbers are important, Patrick, because a lot of people are going to go on the whole the whole thing with rings. That's the easy argument for everybody to go to, is how many championships were won. Well, obviously, we know Jordan was 6-0 in the NBA Finals when he played there with the Bulls. We know LeBron is 3-6 in these NBA Finals, and he's been there with, however many teams, 2 different teams. So, I mean, I think that's easy. That's an easy discussion. But I mean, let's break down things like what happened with the teams. Look, Michael Jordan, I look at those Bulls teams, and I don't think they were necessarily the best teams all the time. Now, that one year, they were 72-10. I think it was the 95-96 season. They were 72-10 when they brought Dennis Rodman to the team. That team was probably the best, obviously. But
that year. Yeah,
that year. But those other teams, when they beat the Phoenix Suns. You remember that Phoenix Suns team back in '93 that had Charles Barkley as the MVP? I personally thought
that team was a much better team than the Bulls were.
Yeah, I personally thought they were better too. And then you could make an argument for the Utah team, not the first one, maybe the second one. The second one that had home court advantage in the playoffs and in that NBA Finals series. They might have been a better team than the Bulls. But I mean, it's not like
that was up for debate. That one was up for debate. Utah really played really well that year, and they just played well together.
Right, and that's why I said it was up for debate. Yeah, well, I didn't want to say it was definitively them that was in there. But I think those Bulls teams were pretty similar. And it's not like they brought a whole bunch of high-priced free agents like LeBron's teams did when LeBron basically traded people out of there to get Kevin Love, or went down to Miami and joined D. Wade and Chris Bosh and all these other people. So I don't know. I mean, I just think there's so many aspects where Michael Jordan is better. Now, physically, the package that LeBron brings on the court, none like anybody else's, really. I mean, nobody really plays with that speed, the power, the court vision. I mean, LeBron James does have a complete package that is unrivaled to anybody else.
Nobody flops better than LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, the
Maybe
flop.
Cam Newton.
I'm not talking about the flopping, Patrick. I'm talking about the other stuff.
Yeah, hey, look, if you're going to talk about the full total package,
No, Patrick.
part of the game nowadays.
No. The flopping is not included in this.
He can flop better than anybody.
He does flop better than anybody, but I'm not talking
never seen
about
a
that.
265 man fall to Nate Robinson. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, and look, man, he flies into the fifth row when 5'10", 175 pounds hit him.
Dude,
But
Nate's like, I didn't do anything. I'm 4'10". Come on, dude.
But I mean, just overall, man. I mean, I get it. A lot of people want to sit there and try to throw this debate out there, but I really don't think it's a debate. Like I said, if you want to talk about what a person can bring to the court, there's not too many people bringing what LeBron James does. But when you look at the body of work, because that's what everybody wants to say they're looking at, the body of work, I don't think there's really any comparison there. I think Michael Jordan is the best player. And the thing is, a lot of people always focus on the scoring, and they will say, that's all Michael Jordan did was score. No, not the case at all, people. Not the case.
Well, you also, let's call it what it is. It's clickbait. People want to see the comparison. I don't know why, but people do. And I mean, the stats don't lie. I mean, you could look them up. I mean, like Michael Jordan did exactly what LeBron James has done. It took LeBron James like 12 years to do it. Michael Jordan did it in 9. He achieved so much more. He was in more All-Star games. I mean, just from top to bottom, he has more of a resume that proves that he is a better player than LeBron. Point blank. Everything said. I mean, all the way down to shooting percentage, free throw percentage, everything. I mean, this is who do you want to have the final shot? This is my question to all those people who have LeBron James. Who do you want to have the final shot? Michael Jordan, who has iconic last shots. LeBron has a few. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, shots that people play over and over on Gatorade commercials. They don't play LeBron's shots on Gatorade commercials. Just saying.
Well, LeBron's going to make the best basketball play. So, I mean, I think that part is it's definitely something you look at because you do want to make sure your best player does have the ball in his hands to shoot for sure. But LeBron never really, to me, never really been that type of a player. Yes, he will take some shots, and he has hit some shots, absolutely. But he's the guy who's going to make the right basketball play a lot of times, and I won't fault him for that.
No. But who do you want the ball in the hands of, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Let's just be honest.
To shoot, Michael Jordan.
Okay, well,
better basketball play, probably LeBron.
Probably LeBron.
Yeah, so there you go.
But,
it depends on the perspective. And when you know us, we're the ones who are going to look at things from both perspectives, right, Patrick? We know, Patrick. We know how you are with LeBron. We know that you are very, very biased about this guy. So that's why. But we agree. Michael Jordan is the best.
Michael Jordan is a better player. Yes.
All right.
Body of work.
Yes. All right. Well, with that, and again, this is up for debate. Please join us.
It's up for clickbait. No.
So Patrick, let's move on to the next topic. So that the UFC had, I think it was number 249. They had a live event, and of course, this is one of the first live events that we have seen in about a month and a half or so. Of course, it was on pay-per-view. $64.99 was the price for this. And a lot of people ordered this. So I guess it was about 700,000 people ordered this bad boy.
Oh, God.
And I think it shows a couple of things, Patrick. So, number one, it shows how thirsty I think people were to actually see a live event. But if you're the UFC, and I'm asking you this question too, Patrick, do you decide maybe if you are going to put it on pay-per-view that you want to have it on a discount of some sort? Just seeing how, be, because the dynamics of what has been happening over the past month or so, I mean, people have lost jobs. The income's not coming in like it is. So, do you think the UFC should have like put something on like a discount, if not just make it free for people?
Well, I mean, let's look at again. Here we are, perspectives. Okay, from a consumer standpoint, absolutely put that for free. I don't want to pay for it because nobody's bringing in a paycheck that substantial. You know what I mean? So yeah, put it on for free. As a business, and I own a couple of businesses myself. Yeah, I can't put that out there for free. What I would do is I would see what my total cost, and this is how I would weigh it. I mean, I would see what my total cost is. How much is it going to cost for me to put it out there? Advertising, blah, 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 blah. And then maybe bump up the price, find out what that is, divide that by, let's say, 500,000 people that buy it, and have a markup about maybe 10 or 15%. At that point, I mean, I would assume, and this is just quick math in my head, I would assume that you're probably looking at half of your proceeds are going to, we'll say a third of your proceeds are going to advertising, all of that stuff to get it out there. Then you got to pay the fighters to fight. You're probably looking at about total of about somewhere around 70-75% of your total income going out before it's even came in. So find out what that is. Find out what your break even is, and charge a little bit more of that to make a profit. At a time like this, I would probably, if it was me, I would probably run a discount and make sure that everybody knew about it. $64.99 plus taxes. That's a bit steep. Throw it out there for $34.99. I might even have bought it. No, I wouldn't. I don't like pay-per-view. But I mean,
you're not buying that.
Huh?
You're not buying that.
No, I won't buy from pay-per-view because I think pay-per-view is a scam. There's too many things that can go quote unquote wrong in my opinion. I'm not going to buy Mike Tyson because chances are he's probably going to knock somebody out in 30 seconds, and I just wasted a ton of money. No, I ain't doing it. I'm just not going to do it. I'd much rather let Miller's Ale House or Olive Garden or somebody like that pay for it, and then I go and pay $50 to $60 for a meal and watch it. Personal opinion. You know what I mean? So at that point, I don't like pay-per-view. I'm not gonna do any of that. But if I was to run pay-per-view, I would probably rent it at a discount. $64.99 is way too much at a time like this when nobody is pulling in a paycheck. Now, if the government wants to grow a spine and get a sack on them or anything like that and actually open up the country the way it should be, $64.99 is not a problem. I'd probably charge that. But they don't have any kind of backbone, so here we are.
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it should have been a little bit of a discount there. Like you said, $24.99 or maybe half off, something like that. I mean, I understand it's the first live event that's coming in, and we are in the business of making money. That's what people want to do. They want to make money. And if you want to do that, I get it. I understand. I feel like it should have been at least 50% off. At least. Because people are thirsting over live sports. And I get, since you are thirsting over live sports, you're trying to take advantage of the people's thirst. So you want to try to maximize that profit as much as possible. But at the same time, people, the situations are a little bit different. So I feel like you could be a little bit more generous in that regard and throw a little discount, 50%, maybe even bring it down to 60%. I mean, just one of those things. I don't know. I didn't like that whole keep it at normal price, because I mean that's what it normally is for these pay-per-views anyway, around $65. And I'm with you. I'm not really trying to pay $65 for a card that probably isn't going to be worth all that, unless I either go to a house party and go ahead and take care of it that way. Or, like you said, go to a Buffalo Wild Wings, go to an Olive Garden, or wherever else that is actually showing the fight. You can get you a meal. You might have to pay $5 at the door and call it a day. But at least you're not paying that full $65 to go ahead and have that happen.
To watch it by yourself or cook dinner while you're watching it. No. And on top of that, I was looking down because I wanted to do the math on that, and I wanted to see, bro, you said around 700,000 people bought that. That's
Yes.
$5.5 million.
Quick little payday, right?
Quick little payday, I guess. But I mean, you know what? Yeah. Do I look at pay-per-view as the fault? No, they put a price out. It's up to the consumer. If the consumer wants to be paying for that, I'm not gonna trash anybody. I probably shouldn't. But if you want to be quote unquote dumb enough to pay it, then pay the $65. More power to you. I'm glad somebody's rich enough to pay for it. Good for you. I, on the other hand, am not. So, with that being said, I will keep my $65 and I will go to Buffalo Wild Wings instead.
Hey man, me too. I'm with you. Absolutely. That's a lot to pay, man. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, Patrick. Well, let's move on. Well, did you have anything else to add to that before?
Nah, people know how I feel about pay-per-view.
All right. Well, let's move on to one of your favorite topics, Patrick. So this is Major League Baseball. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up this article that was seen in the New York Times. And basically, it's going to break down what Major League Baseball is trying to do with this proposed agreement. So I don't know how much you heard about this, Patrick, but I'll try to break it down as best as possible. What they're trying to do is start the season in July, like early July. It's going to be, if everything's approved, it would be an 82-game season. And the teams would play, I guess, according to regions. Now, the playoffs would go, I guess, from 10 teams to 14 teams. 2 additional wild cards in each league. And this might be your favorite one here. Your top seed would earn a spot in the division series, while the wild cards would actually play best of 3 series. Now,
yes, no scrimmage games. Love it.
No scrimmage game. Yes. Now, I still want to ask the question, why would it take an 82-game season for you to do this? But whatever. Maybe that's another topic.
Because it's 82 games shorter. It's already, I mean, the season's already cut in half. So, I mean, but again, look, why do we have to, why does pandemics and stuff like this have to happen before people get good ideas? Look, man, I cannot wait. Here's a little sample of what's coming. Dookie Look segment, bro. If we had the Dookie Look segment, go ahead and give it to him. Man, it's just dumb. Anyway, go ahead. You do your piece.
So, I mean, I think, looking at that, I mean, well, I guess my question is, which proposal do you like better? Do you like this 82-game season, or the one that we discussed last week where they were talking about 100 games and playing the games in primarily 3 states? And yeah, which one out of those do you like more?
Well, let me ask you this. Is the 82-game season back to normal baseball where you have to travel and all that stuff?
Yes.
No. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. My personal opinion, here's my conspiracy theorist coming out. I don't believe in the coronavirus. I think it was employed by government. but there's a lot of people that believe in it. So, with that being said, I think it should be a mix of both of them. I think both of them have really great ideas. For me or for MLB?
For you.
No, look, but I have many feelings on the thing, man. Look, I'm scared, but I'm not going to live in fear. Just that simple. Somebody tells me I need to put a mask on, I'm going to tell them they need to put a mask on over the whole face. Get away from me. Put a bag over your head. I ain't got time to look at you. You know what I mean? I ain't got time for that. Anyway, past that, let's look at doing both. You know, let's cut down the travel, because obviously if you travel, you're going to have issues with it because of the whole pandemic anyway. So why don't we just play 82 games in the 3 states, with it being in Phoenix, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, and Fort Myers, Florida.
Let's use all the states.
Huh?
I mean, or those, like all those 3 states. It wouldn't just be like simplified in those 3 cities.
Oh, so they're just going to play around those cities?
No, it would be in those states, but in selected spots within those states.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's minimal travel. I'm thinking like if Atlanta played Boston, you're either playing in Boston or Atlanta. I think that's too much. But if everybody is in one state, you're working, that's fine. But do it, yeah, that's fine. 82 game season actually is probably better than 100. Started July 1st, pick it up the season and just roll with it. Let it be. Let the teams play as if the season never had a problem. And July 1st is when everybody picks up and starts playing.
Yeah. I like it too. I mean, I like both. I do. I mean, I like both proposals. I like
the normal play though, because the wild card is going to be way too hard to put them in a West Coast, Central, and East Coast divisions where the American and National Leagues are mixed up. That's going to be hard for playoff, because you are going to get 2 national teams. You're either going to get 2 National League teams in a World Series or 2 American League teams in a World Series, or what you're supposed to get is a National and American League. And then even at that, I mean, even if you're playing in a National League stadium, your pitcher gets to bat. If you're playing in an American League stadium, your pitcher doesn't bat. You can have a DH. So
okay, that's another part. That's another part, Patrick. Real quick, sorry to cut you off, but that's another part. There will be a designated hitter in all parks if this proposal does pass.
No, I don't like that.
Why not?
Now you're starting to play with the rules again, and here we are back to playing with it. No, I don't like that.
No, but it's just for a year. So, like, I feel like if you're gonna do this for a year, then you could go ahead and you try it. It's already what one more rule change? What bad is that gonna do, especially in something like this?
One more rule change leads to one more rule change, which leads to one more rule change. Look, hey,
just for this year, though, Patrick. I don't think this is something where they're gonna go ahead and do this over and over and over again. I think
they may not, but they may. You don't know. You don't know what they're doing. Their organization is up to them.
Yeah, but you're over here saying that one more change leads to one more change. You don't know if it's going to lead to one more change.
But you don't know that it's going to stop for just this year.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's what you're saying, though. I'll go with that. If that's what they're going to put out, then I'm inclined to believe them. They haven't said anything about making the rules permanent.
No,
they just said that it was just going to be this year.
I understand that it's just this year.
Right.
I get it. But no, keep it the same. Let the NL play the way the NL is supposed to play and the American League play the way they're supposed to play. Don't change just one rule just to accommodate 1 year. And honestly, that's a small irrelevant rule that doesn't need to be changed anyway. That's what separates National League from American League.
So is that why you don't think it should be changed?
What?
That rule, the designated hitter rule.
Oh, I don't want it to be changed. I don't like the general vicinity rule at second base either.
Okay.
But I understand that it's there for protection, and I get it. But I mean, changing this rule, it should this should not have a change in Major League Baseball. Do not change what separates NL from AL. Don't do it, because then we're just all one league now. There's a separation, and that's what it needs to stay there. I don't think they should be doing that to pitchers, but the pitchers see it.
All right, understand. I think, but back to the wild card thing, because I know you was going to mention that about the series. I don't think those series would rotate. I mean, if it's a 3-game series, whoever has the best record is going to host all 3 of those games. I think that's how it's going to go. So, just like a normal 3-game series.
Yeah, for that one, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, look, if they host all 3, they host all 3. That's fine. Whoever has the best record, I'm fine with that. Because it's a 3-game series, I'm good. The problem I have is when it's just a 1-game series and one person makes a mistake, like last year, and you blow your entire you just blew your entire chance. I don't like that. I like the fact that it's a 3-game series. And that's the way it is. I mean, it should be like that because most of the season is a 3-game series. So why not follow suit? Why give them one scrimmage game to prove themselves? But no, I like that. I mean, even if if the highest ranked team hosts all 3, at least it's a 3-game series.
Yeah, I think like I said, I like both proposals. I just hope they just go ahead and they make a decision at some point, because time is starting. I mean, it's not really a luxury anymore. We're in mid-May, and you were talking about this one proposal with the 100 games, maybe starting in late May, early June, and now this one's supposed to start in July. I just feel like, I mean, I get it. I understand you want to sit back and you want to be patient, but at some point, decisions have to be made. And you're going to have to go out there. You're the commissioner, Rob Manfred, or of any of these leagues. You're going to have to make a decision. I think you have enough research now. This bad boy's been out for a little bit. This whole pandemic's been going on for a little bit now. I think you have the research that is available to you. I think you know what the stats could be. And I even think you would have some projections in terms of whether or not you're going to let fans in there and how many people could get sick, whatever the case. At some point, just make the decision. I mean, you take that decision, live with it. That's what you have that position for.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. But, you know, even if they get a mix of it, I'm fine with that. Just make a decision. And once you make a decision, let's roll with it. Stop playing around. And you know, and honestly, I think the whole starting in July is just buy them a little bit more time to hear a couple other people out, I guess. But, you know, just make a decision. Just make a decision to play the season or not. And if you're going to play it, I mean, July 1st is honestly, it's a perfect time. Cut out the All-Star game. It's already past that. You don't have to worry about that. Just play the other 82 games, put the season in place, have a few games, and roll with the playoff, and then let it be what it's going to be.
Now, real quick, what does that mean? So let's say they do this 82-game season. You're cutting the season in half, literally in half. Mm-hmm. What do you think that does to pitching rotations? How do you think these managers are going to use it? I think there's going to be an interesting chess game to see what they're going to do. Do they cut down their rotation from 5 men to 4 games? Or do they just blow out bullpen arms and your starters only pitch 2 innings?
I mean, I would say that, and honestly, it's probably what they're going to do, Dodgers. But it's like this. The way I see it, nothing changes. I have a 5-man rotation. I wrote my 5 men, and let's see the schedule. I mean, you might have a couple more days on there that is, you might have a few more extra, let's say, off days, I guess. But even then, 5-man rotation. Do that. And honestly, where the pitching rotation is going to be very interesting to me is during playoffs. That's going to be interesting because now you got to, if they do it the way they're talking about, You have a 3-game series at the beginning. And come on. You have a 3-game series at the beginning, 1, and then 2. So that's going to change your pitching rotation at that point anyway. And then 82 games. I don't know. You could probably go with a 4-man pitching rotation and move one of your starters out to the bullpen. Or you can even go with a 3-man rotation and move 2 of your starters out to the bullpen and have that true middle relief that most teams, I think, need again. But other than that, man, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be more of a chess match. You're probably going to see starters coming out around 3 or 4 innings opposed to 4 or 5. Unless you're somebody like Verlander, who's like, I'm not coming out until 7 or 8, which is perfect. Honestly, if you can get a starter to go 6, 7 innings, man, that's perfect to me. But we'll see. I mean, that's interesting. But the playoffs what interests me the most. I'm curious about that.
I mean, I like it. Like, that's how they're going to do it, because that was our main complaint about it anyway, was the whole play-in scrimmage game. So you're going to have at least a series, the 3-game series for that wild card, and then you keep the division series at 5 games, and you have your championship series and your World Series at 7 games. I think that's actually perfect. I think now I will give you this also with this season. There is a definite possibility, if something does work for this 82-game season, that they could implement it for seasons in the future. Absolutely. I think that's a definite possibility if they feel like that was successful in this 82-game season, assuming it does happen that way. Then yes, they can say, oh, well, you know what? We like that they did this thing with the division series or with the wild card series, because yeah, as I said, I mean, they're talking about it like it's just going to be this year. And so does that mean for the 162 game season, when we go back to normal, if there is a normal, do we just go on back to the 1-game play-in? You know, so I hope not.
But it makes it interesting for a pitching rotation, because when you have these 1-game scrimmages, you have to throw a trace out there. You have to, because if you don't win, you go home. So how does that translate to the next series? Well, you don't get to throw your ace out there in game 1 like the other team gets to. So I mean, I personally think it's a relief off of the team, because now they can throw their ace out there for game 1, and then their ace will not come back until game 1 of the next series if they win. So to me, I think it's win-win. But to Major League, they may not see it that way.
Yes, sir. So do you like it? You overall like what they're proposing here?
For the most part, yeah. But I mean, baseball's being very innovative right now, so I like it. They're trying something, and this is a perfect year to try a lot of things. Some of it may stick, some of it may not, but this is the perfect year to try. But that being said, I guess it's a perfect year to try pitchers not hitting. There you go. Now I just beat my own argument. Fantastic.
No, Patrick, no, you're looking at it the wrong way. It is looking at it from another perspective.
Okay, we'll put that. I like that, because now I'm not wrong. I'm right, and I'm good with it.
Anything that makes you right?
Anything that makes me right, I'm good with it. So, but no, they're being very innovative in this year. I mean, look, they've even been given a lesson that the fact that they get to play 82 games. So at that point, roll with it. Get what you can get out of it and let it be. It's a throwaway season anyway.
If you're gonna do it, and like you said, I mean, I guess with the timing of everything, I mean, that you can still kind of salvage halfway across the season. This is different from the NBA and the NHL, man. I mean, I would like to see them continue, but as a fan, I would like to see you continue. But if I'm being logical about it, and I know we talked about this before, we probably cancel.
Probably, yeah.
I mean,
they're already done anyway. You know what I mean?
Right, because you would have been you're halfway in the playoffs at this point normally, and
Mm-hmm.
so I mean I don't know like how that would even look now, and it's mid-May now. So I mean, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna extend this season until August and maybe push the season back to start in December? Which honestly, this is another topic. I don't want to dive too much into it right now, but it's something that we can talk about off net and definitely bring this topic in later on future shows. But maybe pushing the season back to December because now you won't have the NFL or anybody else to compete with. It's pretty crowded in the fall. It's pretty crowded in the fall. So do you want to keep everything the same? Do you want to continue to have everything going starting in mid to late October where and Patrick, remember, talking about money here. We're talking about viewership. The NBA is not catching a lot of viewers until at least February.
Yeah.
So
About February, and that's right after NFL is done, and that's completely done because the Super Bowl's over.
yes. So
I mean, it's probably something to think about. I mean, definitely need to start thinking about it and see if where they can possibly get more viewership. That's a big organizational change right there because you're looking at 32 teams saying, so we're going to start in December this year. New trade deadlines are this. New deadlines are this. Good luck.
Well, hey, Patrick, let's move on to our last topic, man. So we're going to discuss the rise and fall of quarterback Cam Newton. Now, rise and fall may be a little harsh. Maybe. I guess it just depends on what comes out in the future for Cam. But here's a guy, of course, we know what he did at Auburn, leading that team to a national championship. And of course, he got to Carolina. He's been wildly successful as the starting quarterback there. Was an MVP back in 2015 or the 2015 season, led him to a Super Bowl, and he was one of your top quarterbacks in the league. Injuries have caught up to him, got hurt, got released, and now he's still looking for a position. And there's no telling when he might get that position. I guess a lot of this would depend on Cam. How does he feel about potentially coming into a backup role? Like I said, maybe the rise and fall is a little bit harsh, but I think to go from a Super Bowl MVP, not Super Bowl, excuse me, regular season MVP to looking for a position is a pretty steep fall. So
and he hadn't any friends on the way up either. So
he was a little he a little narcissistic there. But
and honestly, most of those times, I mean, you've even said it. He has every right to be. Everybody would get so mad with that year that he came out with the Superman thing. Right? I did. Okay. And what did we say? People would get so mad. Oh, I can't stand when he does that. Then stop him. You don't want him to do that. Stop him from getting in the end zone. Point blank. Stop him. You don't like it. Stop him. And they couldn't. They still can't. You know what I'm saying? He's still getting in the end zone. So, but this is my thing with it. And yeah, I would say right now it's too soon to say the rise and fall, because there's plenty of places he can land. And I'll give you my personal opinion. My personal opinion is he should go to Jacksonville. I think he would fit well in that offense. They need a good quarterback that can handle what they're wanting to do out there anyway.
Well, you ain't sold on Gardner Minshew?
What kind of question is that?
It's a question.
But the question I will have to answer.
It's a question.
And he doesn't even deserve our airtime. So no, I'm not sold on him. That was pretty rough. But I'm going to stick with it because he doesn't deserve our airtime. So no, I'm not sold on him. No, I'm not sold on him. Put Cam Newton out there, You're going to put more seats. You're going to put more butts in the seats in the NFL or in Jacksonville, and Cam Newton can handle that offense. It's really close to what Carolina was doing anyway, so it's not really a huge steep learning curve. So he's going to pick up on it pretty quickly. Other than that, I really don't see a great fit for Cam in the NFL. Nobody that he can really play behind that he's going to learn or even acknowledge unless it's somebody like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. But even then, it's Cam Newton. He's got a big head. So I don't know. I don't know if the backup position is going to be something he will settle for.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It is up to Cam to see what he wants to do with his career now, because I'm trying to find the right words to say this. So let's think. So in the past couple of years, you went from a guy who was pretty much entrenched as a franchise quarterback to basically looking for a job. Also, on top of that, remember last year when the season was going on, we were talking about whether or not he should retire anyway, because he sounded like a guy who did not want to play anymore.
He sounded burnt out.
Yeah, he seemed really, really burnt out. The injuries, he sounded like a guy where the injuries has taken its toll. And I mean, you've seen a lot of players who have retired at young age, I mean, mid to late 20s, saying, no, we're done. We're not going to deal with this anymore because I want to be able to walk away sane, why I'm doing, why I can still walk and why I can still think normally. So,
and you can't blame him. I mean, there's a lot of wide receivers out there that played 8-9 years and got their millions and millions of dollars, invested what they need to invest, and moved on. You can't blame them. I mean, there's no huge, what's the word I'm looking for, incentive to stay, because NFL's not offering a retirement. They're not offering any of those things that make you want to stay. They really pretty much leave it on the players. Hey, look, you make millions and millions of dollars a year. You find your own way. Okay, well, I'll find my own way, but don't be mad when I work out my contract and then I'm done. And I move on to safer and better things. It is what it is, man. And, but Cam Newton, yeah, he looked like he was done. He looked like but he's trying to find a team. And it was funny because I was talking to one of my friends and he was like, yeah, he's probably going to go to the Patriots. And I went, yeah, probably not. Why would the Patriots pick him up? You got Bill Belichick and Cam Newton. That's way too big of an ego clashing right there. There's no way. And Bill Belichick wouldn't put up with his crap anyway. He had booted him out after two games. So Cam Newton ain't going to fit in there. But he go to Jacksonville, I think he would be great there.
I would like to think if he did go to New England, just to throw that situation up there, if he did go to New England, that would be a very humbling experience. I would like to think Cam Newton has been really, really humbled after going through this, sitting there, seeing how he feels when it comes to his health and his well-being, and now not having a job. And he's been through a lot. So I would like to think he has grown from that and would just be thankful for any position at this point. I mean, you look at what Jameis Winston did. I mean, Jameis Winston, he was a starter for 5 straight seasons, and now he's a backup for New Orleans. And I mean, who knows if he's third in line, because I mean, of course, you have Drew Brees there, and then Taysom Hill is there as well. So I mean, he took $1 million, and don't get me wrong. I mean, shoot, $1 million, I take that any day of the week. That's more money than I've ever made.
He didn't take that position for the money. I can tell you that right now. He took that position for the education.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna go ahead and you take that, I mean, as I said, $1 million, man. I mean, that's a huge utility, especially when you feel like this man was in his contract year and he felt like he was going to get a bigger payday anyway. So now you take that say, look, man, I'm going to go ahead and learn, and I need to mature, and maybe I can be in a better situation to mature. And that might be what Cam Newton needs to do as well. Just, hey, look. And it's not like he was just getting into a lot of trouble or anything like that. I mean, he was a pretty good citizen off the field, from all indications. But it's kind of the same situation in all of a sudden he's out there just kind of floating and nobody knows where he's going to go. I mean, personally, I hope he does land somewhere where he can grow and perhaps get another chance at a starting job. Because, I mean, I think he's been a pretty good quarterback. I mean, obviously, he was an MVP level quarterback. So I think a few unfortunate events has happened because, again, it's not like he was getting into trouble. He was hurt and wasn't on the field. And then you had a new coaching staff.
For nobody being on the field.
And then you had a new coaching staff come in and they wanted to go in another direction.
It happened.
So yeah. But I root for him, man. I hope everything goes on, works out for him. So I guess with that, Patrick, that will wrap up this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. So everybody make sure you check us out. Subscribe button. People hit the subscribe button on the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel. And keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page as well. So as you guys know, we are going live from now on. This is our second show. We have fun doing the live show. And we want to see y'all interact. Got one viewer up. So hopefully we can get some more as everything starts to materialize. So we're here every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Check us out, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. Check us out, interact, and everything is open. And it doesn't matter what you say to us, good, bad, or indifferent. We are here. We will react. We will respond, and we will welcome any conversation. So also, we are on Instagram now. I've finally got my Instagram account.
Yeah.
I know. Moving up in the world.
I've seen you doing it now.
Yeah, you like it? Yeah. So moving up in the world. So we're out here, man. We're on these social media forums, and this bad boy is growing. We're gonna continue to make it grow as well, and we hope you're along with us on the ride. So, is there anything else that I missed, Patrick, before we go?
Smash that subscribe button. That's all I got. Hit it. Interact with us, because when we tell you it's live and interactive, we are looking at the comments and we're going to respond to comments as they pop up. So yeah, we have a set of topics that we will talk about, but if it goes in a different direction, we're ready.
All right. Appreciate it there, Patrick. And with that concludes this show. Y'all take it easy, and we will talk to y'all later on in the week. And if not, then next week. Take care.
And we'll wait for 5